he grunted as he dipped his mop into the gray water and wrung it out. Shoving her fists into the pockets of her long jacket, she stepped toward him. "They owe me money." "You and half this dadgum town." "Yes, but they ran out of here so fast last night that the rubber on their shoes was smoking." He flopped the mop onto the tile floor, and water spread toward his boots. "I'd bet good money that they ain't coming back." Camden slumped against the window. Even if she were able to track down Grant, it wasn't like he would personally write her a check for money the magazine owed. He was probably out hunting for a job already. Or maybe he was stretched out on his couch watching Seinfeld reruns, enjoying the luxury of not having to report for duty. He could collect unemployment while he scrolled internet sites for a new gig. Unfortunately, freelancers earned no unemployment. The janitor pushed the mop across the tile in straight strokes, like he was painting instead of cleaning it, taking pride in his work. She understood. At one time, she had been proud of her work too. There was nothing more exhilarating than flying off to a country rocked by tragedy and immersing herself into an event that most people only read about. She was on site to see the trauma, feel the aftershocks, though she never allowed herself to get personally involved. It was her job to record the crisis, so others could help with the recovery. Because of her travels, she hadn't accumulated much stuff over the years. All she needed to do her job was her camera equipment and laptop. Her landlord furnished her flat before she moved in, and for the almost 5 years she'd lived there, the apartment and everything in it felt like hers. It was the longest she'd lived in one place her entire life. But tonight, her landlord was changing the locks. Someone else had rented her home. The man pushed his mop by her. She couldn't blame him for his indifference. This city was full of people who needed a job. He was probably doing everything he could to keep his. She would mop floors if she had to, or scrub toilets. It wouldn't pay enough for her to make rent, but maybe it would keep her from having to contact her mom and beg for cash. She hopped over the wet trail left by the mop and stepped into the elevator. Her landlord said she had until 5 o'clock to pack her stuff and vacate the building. The little credit she had left on her card wouldn't pay for a week in a Manhattan hotel, and the few friends she'd made when she wasn't traveling were struggling as much as she was. One of them might let her sleep on a couch, but she'd be expected to help with rent. The elevator doors shut, and she punched the button for the lobby. Where was she supposed to go from here? The town hall basement smelled like burned coffee and tobacco. The navy carpet had faded to a dull gray, and the dais at the front of the room was scuffed with shoe marks. 5 men and 2 women sat behind a table on the platform, the bi-monthly summit of Etherton's City Council. As the town mayor, Louise Danner presided over the city council from the middle chair. Her hoop earrings jangled below the signature Bic pen she propped behind her left ear. Copper-colored bangs veiled her smudged, penciled eyebrows. 3 steps below Louise's chair, Alex Yates drummed his fingers on a stack of proposals and tried to listen as Evan Harper begged the councilors to let him tear down the barn on his property and replace it with a guest house. In the 8 months since he'd moved to Etherton, Alex learned that Louise Danner was almost as permanent a fixture in Etherton as the town hall. Within days of him taking this job, she told him exactly how she became mayor over the 11,000 people in their town. She had been born in a small house off Main Street and reigned as valedictorian over Etherton High's class of '67. Armed with a degree from Marietta, she returned home after graduation and worked in several businesses until she secured the job of hospital administrator. Louise served on almost every town committee for the next 30 years, from historical preservation to the garden club. But when she landed the mayorship almost 8 years ago, she dropped anchor.